So while I'm hard at work procrastinating working on any future videos, I saw this tweet that came out yesterday, and it shocked me. So let me read it for you. So in an interview with Newstalk Sydney this afternoon, ACT Party leader David Seymour on abolishing the Ministry of Pacific Peoples, in my fantasy, would send a guy called Guy Fawkes in there, and it would be all over. He says this was clearly a joke. And I saw it and I went, no way. This is out of context. David Seymour is a fucking bigot, right? Like, David Seymour is the most anti-Māori person in Parliament right now. Probably because Winston Peters not in. But, his policies are terrible. He always compares things like affirmative action to apartheid, which is like, bro, like helping up minority groups is apartheid now. I don't think you know what apartheid was. But anyway, so I was like, nah, this can't be it. I gotta wait for the audio. So the audio came out, and
in my fantasy, we'd send a guy called Guy Fawkes in there, and it'll be all over. But we'll probably have to have a more formal approach than that.
It's exactly what he said. Oh my god, he's a fucking bigot. Like, mask off. This is what he thinks. Like, I'm not saying he personally wants to go and blow up the building. He doesn't want to go and send someone there to do it. But in his mind, this is his fantasy. He can't help but talk about this shit. Like, that was just like an intrusive thought that came out of his head, and he couldn't catch the words as it came out. He just said it. And he's not going to face any fucking consequence for this. Like, there was a clear call for violence. It was ridiculous. Like, that, you cannot say that, especially as an MP, especially as most likely, according to the polls, he's going to be Deputy Prime Minister in a few months. Like, he cannot say that. It reminds me so much of a lot of the statements that Leo Malloy made about Efeso Collins when he was running for mayor. Absolutely disgusting. You cannot call for violence for your political opponents. Like, what are you doing? And now David Seymour's doing that for what? Government departments? Like, imagine if Raui Waiti, the Māori Party leader, said that about, like, a police station or, like, the Departments of Corrections or something like that. David Seymour would fucking lose his mind. And he has in the past. He's lost his mind. Like, talk about, like, the Māori Party had, like, a statement on their website saying how Māori were, like, genetically superior at sports or something, kind of like a joke, kind of like a talk about how there's so many Māori and All Blacks and how you should be proud of that and things like that. And David Seymour pissed and shit, said it was racism, and David Seymour's out here saying, let us blow up government departments.
Send a guy called Guy Fawkes in there, and it'll be all over.
And this is just a few weeks after a national MP called for a bullet in the head for another government official. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, they cannot say this shit. All right, like screw dog whistling. This is just full out like fucking calls for violence. What if I talked about my own fantasies? What if that fantasy was like, I don't know, sending a guy like Guy Fawkes to go and deal with David Seymour? What if we send someone like Guy Fawkes to David Seymour's electorate office, and I don't know, what did he say? And it will be all over. That's what he said, right? Like, that's fine to say. The future Deputy Prime Minister fucking said that. Like, it is disgusting. The ACT Party has always been a bigoted fucking party. Clarification, do not do anything that's ridiculous. Obviously violence in the form of politics is stupid. Just get out there and vote and talk about your policies and vote accordingly and tell people how you're going to vote. Don't do what David Seymour thinks is totally fine and call for violence against policies you don't like. Like, what the fuck? And this is just a fucking pattern for the ACT Party. Like, they've had fucking criminals in their party. John Banks. What's the name? There was the guy that had a fake passport of a dead baby. Completely breaking the law doing that. There was another woman. I'm completely forgetting all their names. I made a video about the ACT Party. Go watch that. But she stole so much money from the government that she was booted out of Parliament. And it was the very first case in New Zealand, in the New Zealand Supreme Court in 2006. It was crazy. She had to get kicked out of Parliament and be arrested because she stole so much money from the government. ACT Party MP. Just casual shit, and there's just more racism, just like all the ACT Party policies that want to talk about how we should have no affirmative action, no, I don't even want to say special rights for Māori, no, anything. We should just look at the stats and go, man, Māori are just negatively impacted by every single part in our entire country, and what should we do about it? Nothing. Tax cuts for the rich, I don't know, flat income tax rate. And the ACT Party is becoming more and more extreme. Not only are they calling for violence now, but even the founder of the ACT Party, Roger Douglas, he said don't vote for them. He said he will not be voting for the ACT Party this year. because they're too right-wing, they're too far-right, they too only care about the rich, and all they care about is pushing down minority groups. Just like what David Seymour said. Like, it baffles me. He can't get a fucking way with this, can he? Like, it's ridiculous. You cannot say that. Like, legitimately, is it not illegal, what he said? He called for a Guy Fawkes type guy, a terrorist, to go and blow up a government department. I'm a civil servant. You know, in my time when I'm not making stupid YouTube videos, I work, you know, as a civil servant. You know, I have a job, you know, obviously. You know, 400 subscribers on YouTube doesn't pay the bills, right? But, like, if it was my department, I would be, like, talking to lawyers. I'd be pressing charges. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, if he said that about my department, I would legitimately be, seeking legal advice on this, because he cannot do that. And he's polling at like 10%, 12%, something like that, you know? Think about how many crazy people are in 10% of the electorate. They just go, yeah, fuck it, you know, my leader said I should go blow up a government department. Why not? It's ridiculous. It's the same type of shit that, like, you see in America with people like Tucker Carlson and stuff with their dog whistles would talk about, oh, someone should deal with this. Just like how, like, the American political pundit Matt Walsh was talking about abortions that happened at a hospital and, like, posted their address and everything. And, oh, look, bomb threats happened to that hospital. Oh, it wasn't his fault though, right? It couldn't be Matt Walsh's fault for posting the address of that hospital and telling them about all the illegal things they're doing. I think it was actually gender affirming care, not abortions, but I could be wrong there. You know, either way, he called for violence to a hospital, just like David Seymour was calling for violence to a government department. Disgusting. And Christopher Luxon, the leader of the National Party, has come out and said, oh, you know, not my issue, or what am I going to do? He's not on my party. Bitch, he's going to be your deputy prime minister. National has propped up the ACT Party for the last couple of decades, alright? The ACT Party would be fucking dead as a dead thing back in, like, 2008. If it wasn't for the National Party propping them up in Epsom, like, other than very recently, the ACT Party has been one MP for a long time. They've been nothing. They have not been electable. So why the fuck does National think they could just, like, wipe their hands with it and pretend like it's not their issue? 100% it's their issue. They need to criticize it because they're going to be forming a fucking coalition with them. In 3 months, the most likely outcome is Christopher Luxon is going to be the Prime Minister and David Seymour is going to be the Deputy Prime Minister. David Seymour, this dude that's calling for violence against fucking civil servants. It's fucking disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting and it pisses me off. It pisses me off to no end. If any of you are thinking about voting for the ACT Party, fuck you. Alright? The ACT Party is a fucking disgusting party, alright? And at this point, fuck you for even thinking about voting for National if their leader thinks it's fine and isn't going to criticize a statement like this. They cannot keep getting away with this. And David Seymour says it's fine. He's not going to apologize for it. He's not going to face any political ramifications for this. This is outrageous. I swear I'm working on other videos, trust me, but this shit pisses me off and I needed to talk about it.